Hey guys, welcome in. It's time for Bollocks this evening. We have a very special guest in studio with us, and we are in the
Bozard Ford Studio.
Damn right we are, and I got to tell you about the wonderful people at Bozard. For over 75 years, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been a trusted name in St. Augustine, built on family values, honesty, and doing things the right way. With over 1,200 vehicles to choose from, no surprise pricing, and the Drive Happy guarantee, Bozard makes car buying simple and stress-free. That's the Bozard difference. Their state-of-the-art facility features 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment maintenance, and over 40 mobile service vans to serve at your convenience. Just off I-95 and State Road 16, Bozard Ford Lincoln, they're driven to inspire.
Whether you're a local or a tourist, you can set sail for adventure at the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, home to the world's largest and most authentic collection of pirate artifacts. With over 800 real treasures across 40 immersive exhibits curated by Pat Croce and the Croce family, guests can see Blackbeard's original blunderbuss, gold recovered from the Queen Anne's Revenge, and one of the only 3 authentic Jolly Roger flags left in existence. The museum also features a special exhibit highlighting pirates in the movies with props from films like Hook and Pirates of the Caribbean. It's located in historic downtown St. Augustine, right across from the fort.
All right. Brightway Insurance since 2008. Brightway Insurance, the Casey agency, has been guiding St. Augustine through hurricanes, floods, fires, and more. Led by longtime local Ashley Casey, this is insurance done the brighter way. No confusing jargon, no one-size-fits-all policies, just clear guidance, multiple quotes, customized coverage that protects what matters most. With deep roots in the community and decades of experience, Ashley and his team make insurance simple, affordable, and personal. Visit them on the island at 108 Seagrove Main Street or call 904-217-7547. Brightway, the brighter way to do insurance.
So after you've worked up a fierce hunger by being a pirate or privateer, you can just walk right up the bayfront to Saint. Elevated Experience Italian Dining. Located in the heart of historic St. Augustine, Saint blends authentic Italian flavors with modern sophistication, featuring handmade pastas, fresh seasonal ingredients, and classic dishes crafted with care. Guests can enjoy expertly crafted cocktails, indulgent desserts like house-made tiramisu, and stunning views from the second-floor balcony and rooftop patio. Beware of pirates. Overlooking the bayfront and historic skyline. Perfect for a date night or special evening out. Saint Italian Restaurant, where every meal is a celebration.
Woohoo! All right. We also have these amazing people helping us out. Synergy Power Solutions, Abear Kresge and Associates, Powell Heating and Air, Meehan's Irish Pub, A.D. Davis Construction, St. Augustine Distillery, Citygate Spirits, A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing, Anastasia Diner, Moultrie Creek Diner. And we thank each and every one of you keeping us on the air and letting us do what we do.
Yep.
So, all right. So sorry I missed last night. You guys held down the fort very well.
We did good.
Because the fort is still here.
We did good.
So it was a very busy night, a very interesting night. Mm-hmm. It was kind of an uplifting
successful night.
It was a successful night for us. You know, after going through 30 meetings, going through 3 years of the process, I think we ended up with an amazing product that people are going to be proud of when we actually do build this hotel.
And when do you expect to check in the first guest?
It'll probably be in 2032.
2032?
Yeah. I would say the project officially won't start until 2029. Got to go through archaeology, got to go through a lot of other things.
We must.
You know, to make sure we're archiving what's underneath there, even though it's every place we're building has had a building on it before.
Mm-hmm.
So, and portions of it have already had archaeological digs done on them, so we don't have to redo that because it hasn't changed. It's been
and you're
encapsulated since then.
And you're not taking down the building.
No, the building's staying the same. The portion of the building that will come down, it's not the tower, it's the newer portion that was built in the 80s, which what they call the gallery.
Okay.
So if you've been to a wedding there off to the side, that portion, which was built on the old area where the Matanzas Theater used to be there.
Right, burnt down.
So where, no, that one didn't burn down.
No?
No,
I thought that whole the Opera House that was next to it.
The Opera House, which was on St. George Street, burnt down in the fire of 1915.
So there was not a fire on Cathedral.
There
Not the cathedral itself, but wasn't there a...
there was a fire on Cathedral that was in 1887.
Okay.
So, and that was prior to the tower. The tower was built in 27.
Okay.
And how you can tell by photographs, if you look at the basilica and there's a clock tower,
Right.
that means that was after the fire of 1887.
Right.
And the cathedral used to be just one long church, and now it has the two wings coming off. Those also were added after the fire of 1887. So when you see the wings and you see the tower in a photograph, that means it was after the fire of 1887.
Okay.
And the cathedral did burn. It was gutted.
Right.
It was completely gutted. So that fire also took out the market, the slave market. So that was the fire of the Hotel St. Augustine, and it took out the Vale block. So, and then
suspicious, possibly.
No. This one, Captain Vale. They messed up in the boiler room. And Captain Vale was going to build another hotel, and Henry Flagler said, "I'll give you $35,000 if you build me a business center here instead of a hotel." And that's how the business center came to be. It's along the fronts the plaza, and it actually came down a little bit down Charlotte Street. So, and that was, and that's the reason it's called the Vale Block, is because Captain Vale owned, and it was a 5-story hotel. It was a big hotel, and then Florida House was where the second fire started, which was in 15, and that one started along Treasury Street there, and burnt north to Kuna. So it took out almost 5 blocks of the city, and we had more hotel rooms in the city limits in the 1890s than we do right now. So, which is pretty incredible. Because you got to consider our largest hotel. We're one of the largest hotels. We are the largest hotelier in town. Our largest hotel is like 137 rooms.
Right, they're not huge.
The Ponce itself, just the Ponce, was 500. Alcazar was 300. Cordova was 300. Florida House was 300. San Marco, the Hotel San Marco, which sits where the Renaissance was, that was over 500. And where that hotel is right now, it's stretched all the way to where the visitor center is and the parking garage was. It was huge. That one was suspicious.
That was a suspicious. I knew one of them was questionable.
That one was
Mr. Flagler, where were you?
Well, no, it wasn't. He was in debt already, so it burnt down. It burnt down in like 1895, but he was in debt because of the Ponce opening. So that the people that were going to Hotel San Marco transferred over to the Ponce, and we're talking high dollar people. These are people that they had to pay.
Right.
They had to pay for 3 months.
Right.
No matter if you stayed 3 weeks or whatever, you paid for 3 months. And that's where the term, I don't think people realize this, that's where the term tourist comes from. Because in those days, you went on tour,
Right.
and you packed up everything, and all your servants, everybody went with you, and you went on tour. So kind of what we think of as rock bands going on tour, that's what
The landed aristocracy.
Yeah, the term came from, packing up everything and going to Florida and going on tour. So, all right.
Meanwhile, we have a guest in the
We
studio.
have a very special guest.
Sorry to take you down that memory lane there.
Yeah, no,
Hi.
it's wonderful.
Interesting.
It always is.
So, Jeanne Moeller, you are president of St. John. Wait, I'm saying it backwards. Homeless Coalition of St. Johns County.
Right.
Okay, all right. I keep wanting to say St. Johns County first. But you guys do amazing stuff. You're partner with us with Home Again so much, and you have some great stuff coming in right now. And we're trying to do some fundraising for you.
Right.
But our audience, if you can give us a scope of the Homeless Coalition and what makes you different than the other providers here in St. Johns County.
Well, the Homeless Coalition's been in business for 27 years, and our main mission is to work with the most vulnerable families with minor children That doesn't mean if you come in and your teenager's 17, at 18, they have to leave. But if they're 19, it's a little, unless you have some younger ones to go with it, it's a little iffy for us. Our families usually stay an average of about 3 years. They have to come in with a goal on how they're going to exit because it's not permanent housing. But we do lots and lots of supports. They all have to work, they have to pay rent, and they have to pay their utilities because we see ourselves as a hand up, not a handout. We have been able in the last 27 years to get 85, almost 86% of all the families that come through into their own permanent housing. We currently have 4 mothers that are ready to look at Habitat housing to be able to buy. We do rent reporting so that when they pay their rent on time, it's sent out to all 3 of the credit bureaus, which really helps them build up their credit because some of them come and they've never even had a checking account, let alone a debit card. So we work very, very closely with them. We do lots and lots of activities for our children on the campus. We decided in 2021 we were going to start a phase 2, but all of our houses were built by the Florida Railroad over 100 years ago. We have renovated all of them now. So they were up to code to start with, but now they have central heat and air because the window air conditioners would just rot out the wood. And they were way more expensive then.
Yeah, energy-wise, they were just gobbling it up, eating up a power bill, I'm sure.
So that's better for our families. But we decided we would do a phase 1 program, which was to clean up the internal campus because we have 5 acres. So we own houses on Chapin, Nesbitt, Smith, and 1 house on Palmer, which forms a whole block. So internally, it was very hard for the kids to play because it was just absolutely nothing but dirt and sand. And I can't tell you how many times a day we were sweeping the floors in our offices because the sand could get 2 inches thick by the end of the day. So now the internal part of the campus is finished. We have playgrounds for the kids, grass they can play on, concrete where they can ride their bikes and skateboards. We are currently building an office. Andy Chambers said if we would buy the material, he would do that for us at cost. And he certainly is living up to that obligation. And once our office is done, we suspect that'll be done by the end of June because Andy's using his subcontractors, but he also has his own business to run, so it's taken a little longer, but we're very thankful to him. And then we'll turn our social service office into another home for another family, which will give us 24 on the campus. And then Debbie's office, which is our administrative office, will go into our student center.
And Debbie is great. How long has Debbie been with you guys?
At least, well, let's see. I've been on the board since 2012, and she was there probably 2010, 2011. So she's been there for a while. She's absolutely excellent.
I think she was there when I was with St. Francis House when I was president over there, and I left them in 2008 or 9. I think she might have just started around that time. So,
right.
But it's such a St. Augustine's very fortunate to have people like you and Debbie in this fight and the other providers that are out there. But with the focus on families, what was when you first started? How many houses did you guys have?
7. We started with 1 on West King Street at 523 West King Street. And then the board really realized that there was more homeless families than they thought. And so we were able to buy the acreage at Nesbitt that goes to the river, and 7 houses on Chapin for $175,000.
Wow.
And then, and it was interesting because no one said not in my neighborhood, because it was full of drug addicts and prostitutes and
So you didn't have,
cleaned up the
the
neighborhood.
NIMBY.
so they figured. But now the interesting thing is there are at least 2 Airbnbs that surround us, and those people that are paying that high rent for a weekend at an Airbnb have no idea they're close to the Homeless Coalition. They have no idea because we look like a community, because all of our families are they're in their own homes.
Yeah.
And we are the only not-for-profit in St. Johns County that has families living in their own houses. Betty Griffin has some congregate living for domestic abuse, and so does Home Again. But once our families sign a lease, then they're no longer homeless. So in our own small way, we are definitely solving a homeless issue. Now, our second phase is to build
And these are standalone houses. These aren't apartments like over where Home Again is and Veterans Village is. We're getting people off the street, but these are actual standalone houses that they can have pride in. And so and all our providers are a little bit different, but what you do is you provide for the families and the kids, and we do a lot of reference.
So, and we don't pick our families, Trey. Troy, they come out of domestic abuse, Home Again, off the street.
I was going to say we refer, because a lot of times we're sometimes the first contact, and we kind of triage situations. And if it's a good fit for you, we'll send them to you. If it's a good fit for Alpha Omega, it's a good fit for some. And sometimes there's a lot of crossover, Alpha Omega and Betty Griffin and what the Homeless Coalition does. So with what you're trying to accomplish, what is the fundraising goal of what you're trying to do with
Jamie Mackey tells us that we should be able to do all the infrastructure and the new 8 duplexes for about $5 million. But having been on the board of mosquito control and built the new mosquito control district, I can assure them it's probably going to be closer to 8 by the time we raise the money and get it done, because the longer it takes us to raise it, my personal goal, because they've made me the fundraising chair.
Well, you're president. You do have control over that, but you're the right person.
And
for
they
that
tap
job.
me on the shoulder and say, "Oh, way to go!"
Yeah, you're doing great.
So, and I'm sure you have that with your board at Home Again too. Way to go, Trey.
Yeah.
Troy. But but if we can raise between $2.5 and $3 million, we can get the infrastructure done. And I really truly believe that once the infrastructure is finished and one duplex comes up, this is a very, very giving community, as you well know. I really truly believe that within the next 3 to 5 years, we would have that done. Jamie would like to have it done in the next 12 months, but $2
million doesn't just pop up.
It doesn't.
It takes a lot of hard work and
So,
and where we're at with Home Again, we have a fundraiser this Thursday for our thank yous and appreciations and donors, and we've been very fortunate with some matching grants and some state grants and some federal grants. What percentage of your money is from the state, and what percentage are from grants, not just from the state, from grants, and what percentage is from the kindness of our locals?
well, I can tell you that our budget is about $607,000. And this year we had an excessive amount of grants because we had an extra 100,000. come in grants, and then of course we got a wonderful grant from Doris Barr Weaver,
Oh, yeah,
so we could
yeah,
finish.
That was really kind, and it wasn't just you. She helped out a lot of nonprofits.
A lot of
or the foundation did.
Right. So she helped us finish our goal, because our first goal for phase one was $500,000. And we have raised that, so we're good to go.
Yeah, because that was a matching.
And we do about 47% in our rents.
Yeah, the Weaver grant was a matching grant, if I believe, wasn't it?
No.
I thought you had to
She
raise
gave us
some
the first $100,000 several years ago to renovate our houses in the middle of COVID, and without a match. And then we went back for a second grant, and she said, if you raise 50,000, we'll give you another 100,000. And one of our board members called someone who took care of the 50,000 for us. And we called her and said, well, we raised 50,000, and she sent us a check immediately.
Yeah.
And then this time when the foundation gave us money, she did not, because she had worked with us before. She didn't
knew what
ask
you
for
were doing
matching
and
money.
had confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
So in order to do this, I took a leave from Kathy Brown. I don't know if you remember Kathy Brown.
That was my local mom. A great story about Kathy Brown. And Kathy Brown was she was kind of the person that not created, but she was the head person for the Council on Aging.
Okay.
Got the buses going and stuff like that. So when I first opened the amphitheater, Jeanne, you'll love the story, because you know Kathy. I had I think it was Willie Nelson. He's coming like next month. I had Willie Nelson at the amphitheater, and my lead security backstage calls and says, "Hey Troy, your mom's backstage." Now my mom lives in Tennessee. All right, and I'm coming around, and I clear the corner, and I see Kathy right there, and her big old smile and laugh.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, "Hey mom," and I just gave her a big hug. So after that day, I always called Kathy mom.
Mom.
So.
Well, I worked with Kathy at the Council on Aging. And she came up with this idea to get 1,000 people to donate $1,000 when we were building the River House. And I don't have the same beautiful smile that Kathy has, but
her personality still rings big.
And
So.
if you ask her something, she'd say, "Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it."
Yeah.
But so I decided I would take a leaf out of Kathy Brown, of everything that she taught me when I worked with her and so I'm working on that. We're just now getting the big media out. My first radio station with that.
Oh, okay.
Talked a little bit about it with Rick Rumroll, rather.
Yeah.
So, but we currently have 50 people that have donated $1,000. So I figured,
And
what?
we have a very similar campaign going with Home Again.
Right. So I figured
maybe we should have a competition on who's.
See,
Because we're only at 30,000, so you guys got a head start.
we got a head start. So I'm looking for 950 more. Although if people would like to donate $5,000, we'll put it in that
As a 5-person one. Yeah.
as a 5-person. But it's a very giving community. I read something from the St. John's, what do you call them? The not the JCs, Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce. Okay. as well.
That said there were over 45,000 millionaires that lived in St. Johns County. And I thought, well, darn.
45,000?
45,000.
That number's not right.
I wouldn't think so either, but that's what they said. And I'm thinking to myself,
The math doesn't math.
it's
on
probably because they're in $500,000 houses and they're counting that.
that. Yeah.
But
Even with that, they have debt. That math doesn't math right.
it doesn't math to me either. But but that's what they.
Because we only have 340,000 people.
So
Total,
I figured
total people.
total. And
Yeah.
you know what? I figured if half of them were even kids under the age of 18, I still ought to be able to get 1,000 people to donate $1,000 if we tell the story right.
Yeah.
But like this last winter, a young man came by and he said, I just wanted to see what was happening at the Homeless Coalition because I lived in that house over there and now I'm out of high school and I'm working and I'm, I don't live in the county anymore. He's in another state, but I had great memories of being here as a kid. I felt safe and I'm doing really, really well. And then we ran into someone who lived in the Willie Gallimore house when she was a kid, was one of our very first people in the late 90s. And she went to work for Price Waterhouse, and they only accept the best and the brightest. And has her master's degree and is doing really well. So we've had lots of successes over the years, and I'm sure there are a whole lot more out there that I don't know about. But 4 of our mothers are working very, very hard to get into Habitat housing. We have a realtor that's working with them in budget, so we're excited about that. We have tutors for our kids. So if there's anyone out there listening, they can go on our website and donate $1,000. They can write a check and send it to 62 Chapin Street. So,
Wait, and if you would, can you read the website so Blake can put it into the comments?
yes, it's the Homeless Coalition, St. Johns County.com. And it's all one word.
Okay. All right, Blake, you got that?
Yes.
So you said over in that campus over by Chapin and Nesbith that you have 23 houses now, and you're about to get a 24th?
No, we have a total of 23. We have 23 families, so we have 25 houses. So when we're using 2 of them for offices. So once we can get into our new office, we'll turn one of those offices into a home for another family. And please know that when our families move in, the houses are totally furnished from A to Z. And we encourage them to take care of it so that when they move out, they can move out with everything but the appliances, because we don't want them to go to rent a couch or try to get.
We need them to be in their best foot forward and on their feet,
Right.
and not going in the backwards with debt, because that's how a lot of people don't manage debt well. And do you have programs that help people that have, because we have in St. Johns County, we have a working poor group, and that's what leads to a lot of our homeless that can never catch up. Do you have programs to help people with financing, understanding debt, how to manage getting out of debt with the Homeless Coalition?
Yes, and we've worked with several of those banks. Five Star's been there. Ameris has been there. We have a realtor on our board that's worked with our families. We have, like I said, 4 people go to all the Habitat and any of the finance stuff that the county does. So we work really hard with that. What we are finding is that when we started this, hardly any of our families had a car. Now some of our families have a car, but let's face it, if you don't have a car in St. Johns County, you have to bicycle. And if you have 2 little kids,
and that's that battle.
It's a
now,
battle.
Now all your money's going to Uber or cab rides.
Right.
Even when
So-
you're getting to work, you're giving up
we
15% of your salary for transportation.
We have had several people, because when our single mothers have their car broke down, and they can't afford the car repair and they're out of work for 3 days, they really go into a panic because how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to stay ahead? We work with that ourselves, but some people have donated some money for transportation, whether it's to give people gas cards or Uber money. Particularly, some of our walk-ins might need a ride to the doctor, and we can give them an Uber voucher or a taxi voucher. But I'm going to start looking at some of our independent repair places, because if we can send our mothers there, we can guarantee payment. But it would be nice if we could get the parts at cost, and maybe a small reduction in labor, because then the money will go twice as far. So if any of those people were out
if you
there,
can take some of that overhead away. Do you accept, and sometimes we get vehicles where people are trading in and they get mad at the dealership because it never happens at Bozard Ford.
No, it wouldn't.
But do you accept car donations? Have you had that happen before?
we've had one car we've had 2 cars since I've been on the board that have been donated to us. I know that the Classic Car Museum does a lot of taking in cars and then usually selling them very, very cheap or donating them out after they've been repaired. Cindy Hobbs is the first person I want to talk to, because I want to make sure if I'm going to ask these individual people that I'm not wasting my time and to do it, and what's the best way to go about that. So,
well, and I'm wondering, and you and I are in that same boat, but I think a car to you is more valuable because I'm dealing with broken people in a lot of ways, and you're dealing with moms surviving,
right,
and families surviving. So it's a different dynamic. And to me, the car is more important to that. I hate to say that. There's gentlemen that need that car to get back on their feet, but we're talking about kids here. Don't know why this never came to me before, but at the tech center they have auto repair and stuff like that. I'm wondering if we get some of these donated cars and get them fixed to the level, if this is something that we can make that relationship work. So,
and I hadn't thought about the Botec.
You think Debbie's ever had that conversation? It literally just came to me like 2 minutes ago. So.
I don't think we've had that. I don't think we've had that conversation yet. But
I do. I have somebody right now who's willing to donate a car. I don't know what kind of shape it's in. I know it probably needs some work, and I want to make sure it's safe for the family. So I'm wondering, is that a relationship that might be cultivated to get you guys where you need to be? And Sydney, who's great, has a big heart, could possibly
help
still participate even in that side of it, because he's a gearhead,
So I just thought, I've done some of his car shows just for PR with the Homeless Coalition, and I thought, you know what, he would at least probably tell me the truth of what he really thinks. I was supposed to call him on Monday, and his phone was busy, and then I got busy, and now it's what day?
It's only Tuesday.
Thursday.
Thursday. They all blend
today's Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday.
Right.
Yeah.
And
one of the questions online is the Homeless Coalition able to help elderly homeless or just young families? And Elderly Homeless Council on Aging has some programs that work. Home Again has some programs that also can work. But you guys do focus on family.
We focus on families.
Yeah.
And on your campus where you have those 22 houses, everybody has come to those houses in a similar circumstance. So there's a community that exists there with shared backstories, for lack of anything.
Right.
So the support network is there. Have you found that these people now have created their own sort of support network and community? Because, and I'm trying to avoid using the word stigma because it's not what I'm trying to say, but everybody came from a similar circumstance to have the need, unfortunately, to take the kindness of your housing and then build their lives out from there successfully, we hope. That do you find that the community that is there helps each other grow and get out of there?
I
rush
think
them, but
so in some manner, particularly because when the kids all go out to play,
Yeah, the kids are playing. They don't care. They don't
Right.
care.
They don't- right.
They don't care
Right.
what's in their friend's bank account.
right, no,
and
nor
none
should
of
they,
them
but right.
have to say, I live at the Homeless Coalition. I
Right.
live on Chapin, Smith,
Right.
Nesbitt. And Chapin is a couple miles long. We're only on the east side,
Yeah.
we're only on the east side of it. So I do see more mothers coming out and, talking like my mother used to talk over the fence.
Yeah.
So I think so. I think it's a real community.
Yeah. When the kids play
Kids,
together,
right.
it kind of brings people
Right, because
together.
the families aren't isolated there, and they don't have to look over their shoulder and say, "Well, what's Mrs. Smith going to think of me?" Because they all have goals to better their lives and their children's lives in particular.
Right.
So it's good that they can have somebody that they can use as a resource, as a friend.
So,
So
At Veterans Village and at our complex, our United Service Center, we require our people to sign a code of conduct where we expect you don't break the law, don't do drugs, don't do these things. When you accept someone in at the Homeless Coalition, is there a criteria like that that's someone's going in and inspecting every 2 months and saying, okay, you're still doing all right, and just kind of coaching
And
these
we
moms
do,
who have been
yeah.
beat up by life, and they just kind of need a little, okay, let's work on this. So
yes, we do have that. They do have to sign a contract. There are some rules. Like I said, they have to be able to work. They have to be able to pay rent and their utilities. If they have a car, they have to show us that it's
insured.
licensed and insured, and their driver's license are all up to date. We don't want alcohol on our campus or drugs on our campus. Doesn't mean that doesn't happen on occasion, but people are human, and usually it comes from outside, not inside. So yes, we do have that, and they also have to have a program, a goal to be able to exit, because it's not their forever home.
Right.
and is there and I'm trying to figure out, like, is there checkpoints on where they're at? This is your 6-month criteria. This is your 1-year mark, and because you said.
And our social worker works
it's
with
considered transitional, not permanent housing.
We call it permanent housing with supports.
Okay.
Now, because words matter, so like other places would have supportive permanent housing, which means they're really working with more of mentally ill, the physically challenged folks. So they're supporting them with permanent housing. We have permanent housing with supports, meaning we do everything we can do to support those families, but it's still not, and it's permanent housing while they're there, but it's not lifetime permanent housing.
All right. And what's your fundraiser called again? Because we got to get to our 5 questions.
1,000 for 1,000.
1,000 for 1,000, and it's for Homeless Coalition of St. Johns County, and it's to help you develop the other acreage, which you already own that acreage that you're talking about developing.
We own it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you already own that.
And it's a beautiful piece. It goes all the way to the San Sebastian River,
Yeah, I've
although we're
seen
not
that.
going that far.
Yeah.
Monday, the 20th, from 4 to 5, we're going to have a tour. We can't take people into our houses because of privacy,
Somebody's house.
but they can at least see and feel our community.
The neighborhood, sure.
So, and they're more than welcome to come by.
All right, Blake, can you have that in there? We'll make sure that gets posted, and we have that. You're welcome to stick around for 5 questions. You know, it's usually our fun time.
I'll try that.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can do okay on this one.
Okay.
So we didn't have to. I barely studied myself. So
Right.
Lenny's in charge of the questions. So we
And I grade on a curve. You'll be fine.
So yeah.
Okay.
Blake and I don't know the questions either. Only Lenny knows the questions. So Lenny,
Kind of like trivia, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Except
your
I'm
own.
on the wrong side
it's
this
your
time.
own personal opinion.
Right.
So
No wrong answers.
question
Okay.
number 1, Lenny.
Where do you get your news?
The 904 now. Blake.
Good answer. Good answer.
Officially here in town now for now.
How about in the rest? How about in the rest of the
He
world?
gets it all over the place.
Right,
so
exactly.
He has to provide the 904 now with our content. So
Right.
as the director of news,
Right.
he gets it. So
Well, I like the BCC and I like CNN and the local channels. I have to be really honest. I don't listen to the radio a whole lot unless I'm in the car.
yeah.
But I'm very thankful that we have lots of local radio stations, more now than we used to have. We used to go on Kerry McCarthy all the time.
Yeah, Carrie was a good buddy of mine. And we left radio for podcasting.
Right.
So, you know, people have to put up with the mug.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so where do you get your news from?
Well, I
and for
read-
my national news, I
Right.
bounce from CNN, Fox, and if I hear a story here, I want to hear it over here,
Cross-reference it, yeah.
and then I go to and I do some Reuters
And
stuff.
I
too.
don't know about you guys, but now with the artificial intelligence, I have to.
It's tough
Right.
to tell the difference.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I try to stick to, legacy media. For international, I'll read the New York Times. I'll look at CNN, the BBC, and then locally, I still read the local Long Island newspaper, Newsday, every day, and the St. Augustine Record. So I spend a lot of time in my morning
And-
with newspapers.
I do a lot with the Florida Times Union, not the St. Augustine Record so much.
Yeah, I do Jacksonville Business
and I-
Journal.
And I vacillate between the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. And sometimes I buy them at the same time and I read the opinions on either side. And then I put it down and I'm thinking, I still don't know the truth.
Right.
It's somewhere in the middle.
That's it.
It's somewhere in
It
the
really
middle.
is.
All right, question number 2.
What is the spiciest thing you've ever eaten?
Oh, a habanero mash at a trade show. And oh no, I take it back. Oh my gosh, Blake, I almost forgot. The 1 chip challenge.
Oh, you did? Okay.
The 1 chip challenge, and the worst thing was, Blake, you want to tell a story? Or you want me to tell a story?
Go ahead, you can tell it.
All right. So Blake and I were doing our baseball trip. We were going to Houston to see my friend Eddie in Houston that day. But that morning, our flight wasn't until the afternoon. So that morning, we all went into work. We each did the 1 chip challenge. And I had ice cream ready. I had milk. I had nothing was getting this
Curing you, yeah.
curing me. And then I get on a plane and it hit my stomach. And I was probably as uncomfortable if I'd ever been on an airplane. I would strongly suggest never, ever doing the 1 chip challenge. But I have done habanero mash, which made me run through a convention hall to try and find some milk.
There you go.
But the milk did take care of it on that one. The 1 chip challenge.
It's good, yeah.
1 chip challenge, I was cussing everybody in the room. I think I punched everyone at least twice. So,
Jeanne?
Well, you know, I was raised in Amish country,
yeah,
and their food to Florida food is pretty bland.
yeah.
So my cousin said, we're going to go to the biker bar. And I thought, you have a biker bar in Lewistown, Pennsylvania now? Oh, okay. So we go to the biker bar, and she says, we're going to order chicken wings. I said, okay. She says, I'm going to order them hot. I said, oh, all right. Thinking
Yeah, it's Florida.
nothing is hot in.
compared to Florida.
Right, in
yeah.
Pennsylvania, yeah.
Let me tell you, those chicken wings were so hot, I swear to God, they burnt the skin off my lips.
Yeah.
And I wasn't about to give it up. So we had about 4 left, and I said, you know what? These are so good. If you'll give me a box, I'm going to take them home and eat them later. And so
Because they do
I
get
took
hotter.
those home, and I forgot, and they must have gotten hotter because when I got them out of the car the next morning, they had eaten through the styrofoam.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, what did they do to my stomach?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Blake, what about
Blake?
you? You're not a super spicy. You like a little flavor, but you're not a spicy guy.
I think the hottest thing I ever had was there was like a restaurant that we went to that had like their own version of like Nashville hot, like that, like I definitely like the KFC's seasoning that they have on
yeah.
there, but I think their version of Nashville hot was like much more spicy. I was like, so thankfully I was definitely happy I had ranch at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, he smothered it around.
That helps. That helps. I have 2 of them. One was a Thai restaurant at the end of Charles Street, over by Opera Square in the back of the West Village in New York City, a place called Toons. And I ordered spicy, and I am in tears now because in Thai restaurants there's a picture of the king and queen usually up on the wall, and I'm just in tears in this Thai restaurant. It was painful, but it was not as bad as when we were in Phoenix, and Julie was with me on this trip. She wasn't with me at Toons. We're in a place called Los Dos Molitos, and a molito is like a pepper grinder or a grinder. So we're there, and I ordered a burrito, and I got it spicy, and I don't know how many little, hot peppers were on the menu next to that, but I was in pain and again crying because it was that hot. Couldn't finish it. I had a friend who was just
Yeah,
laughing at me the whole time.
I like spicy.
So
food.
do I,
Yeah,
but not painfully spicy.
Well, and because the Indian family that I'm associated with, they'll bring me food, and sometimes they'll say, "You got naan, you got yogurt." I was like, "All right." That tells me, when they ask, a scale of 1 to 10 at an Indian. Have you ever been to an Indian restaurant? They'll go 1 to 10.
Right.
Oh, that's Indian person's 1 to 10, not a
gringo.
a normal gringo 1 to 10. And I like I said, I eat hotter stuff than some people in the family, and then there's some people in the family that can eat fire. And there's a cousin that's a really good cook, but he can make you sweat in 3 bites. So yogurt, plain yogurt's good to have in the house to kind of bring everything down. So
It does.
all right, question number 3.
Okay, what obstacles would be included in the world's most amazing obstacle course? You got to design your own obstacle course. What would you put in it?
Are you talking animals or
Whatever you would like to put in this amazing obstacle course. I actually have an animal and a non-animal.
You have an animal and a non-animal. My animal probably would be a water buffalo.
Okay.
They're unpredictable. Don't know what they're about.
Okay.
And my, I'm not really afraid of a lot of.
It's an obstacle course. You gotta go over, around, under, through.
Yeah, but that's right up my alley.
Yeah, okay.
So
Mr. Survivor.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right up where I.
Well, I got
That's
you.
the world I want to live in. So I'm just going to go with a water buffalo just because they're unpredictable and you don't know what they're going to do.
Okay.
Rattlesnake I can handle.
Okay.
Alligator, obviously, you see them hanging on the wall. I can handle.
You're Roger Moore. You jump across their heads. You step on their heads and keep going.
Yeah, but so.
What would you put in your obstacle course?
I would probably put in one of those over wires where you have to go this way and have some small quicksand underneath. So
Yeah. Okay.
Motivating you to hold on.
Here's the difference between our generation and Blake's.
Yeah.
All right, Blake, have you ever seen a movie where someone gets caught in quicksand?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have before.
All right, it was in every one. Like when we were kids.
Yeah. Anything that was in a jungle
It was like every time you went in the woods, you felt like you were going to get caught in quicksand. I mean, all Tarzan movies, in every Tarzan movie, quicksand was a part of it. And a lot of the movies in the jungles and the woods, quicksand was. I mean, I'm very disappointed in my adulthood as quicksand. I thought at least one of my friends would die because of quicksand.
Fortunately, they didn't.
Not a single one. Well, then I found out as an adult the most quicksand's only like 2 foot deep.
Right.
So it's not even that deep.
Lake?
Blake, what you got?
Oh, I'm probably going to have to say like a good deep pool, like a muddy deep pool.
Just
Because
mud,
Okay.
mud
Yeah.
and gunk that you'd have to.
Sucks you in.
yeah,
Okay. A bed of hot coals
Okay.
and a field of sea anemones.
Seeing enemies. It's just hard to say.
It is.
Yeah.
That's
That'd
part
be
of the
very-
obstacle is
That'd be
pronouncing
very
it.
itchy.
So that and they spiky.
Yeah, they're very spiky, but like
Spiky,
even
right.
when they spike you, you still have it. Feels like it's still there.
Yeah.
It's like fiberglass.
Like
being
metal,
on there.
exactly. Like metals for sure. Okay.
Question 4.
If somebody narrated your life, who would you choose?
Dead or alive? Because we have AI now.
Mine is dead, so carry on.
yeah,
Yeah.
mine's dead.
Yeah. James Earl Jones.
Oh, interesting. Who would be the narrator of your life?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Ooh, very good,
choice.
answer. Very
One
good
was
answer. I like that.
Lake?
Mine's Gilbert Gottfried.
Okay. And I'm going with John Facenda.
Okay,
You know
I
who
don't know who John
Facenda is?
Vincent is.
John Facenda is the voice of God. And I'm not talking James Earl Jones.
I thought that
or
was
some-
George Burns.
Nope. John Facenda was the man who did the NFL's voiceovers for all the early NFL films.
Mm-hmm.
So the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, as they are lining up and the steam is coming out of them. John Facenda had a great voice.
If you ever heard the Autumn Wind, that whole narration, that was him.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I know the voice you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
But if we did it live, it'd be Ken Burns.
Okay. He's
Okay.
a little soft spoken,
Yeah.
but John Facenda was
Well,
just.
so am I.
just
I'm
boom.
very introverted.
We'll get you out of your shell.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
All right.
All right.
The final question,
Last
because
one.
you have to go somewhere, Blake has to go somewhere, I have to go somewhere, and we're going to give a shout out to
One more time.
Homeless Coalition
Right.
one more time.
What movie quotes do you use on a regular basis?
Killing me, Smalls.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
What movie quotes do you use on a regular basis? A line from a movie that you repeat frequently.
Yeah, Killing Me, Smalls. That's I
Yeah.
use it at least
I
5
have a
times a day.
T-shirt that says that you're killing me small.
Yeah, I've worn mine out.
And the other one is yes, but.
Yes, but so and I say inconceivable a lot
Right.
for The Princess Bride.
I do not think you know what that word means.
Yeah.
That word does not mean what you think it means. Blake?
Me, what, I don't think it means what you think.
I'm gonna say who. Trying to think. There's no crying in baseball.
No crying in baseball. Yeah.
I stuck with the classics. You can't handle the truth. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. And the all-time favorite. I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
Gonna need a bigger boat. So I actually have shrunk my boats
Yeah.
as I did small boat, small boat, smaller boat. So but
That is a classic.
well, Jeanne, thank you for coming
Yeah.
in. Appreciate you guys and everything that you do over there. I'll follow up with the person with the car, but I really would like to see if there is a connection with that tech center. So
Yeah, I didn't think about the tech center
Yeah.
at all.
yeah, because I mean your families need cars.
Cars. Yeah,
And,
because
and we just had somebody donate a very a well-known person in town donated an e-bike to one of our veterans just today, which was very nice.
nice.
Um,
And the Florida bike men out of Palm Coast come in once a month, and they repair bikes. So if you'll give Debbie, I'll give you a call and let you. Is Ellen still there?
yeah, Ellen.
I'll
As
let-
soon as I get off of this show, I have to call Ellen because she's my work wife. I talk to her more than I do Rebecca.
So what I'll do is we'll give Ellen a call and let them know because they come a certain day every month. So if your guys need bike repair, if they bring them over, they'll fix them
And
for 'em.
we did have one person that was doing that pretty regular. I don't know if that's still happening or not. But thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Homeless Coalition of St. Johns County,
Right.
1,000 for 1,000. And good luck with that because it's helping the entire community. It helps everybody, and we really do appreciate it.
I just think with 340,000 people living in the county, we ought to be able to find 1,000. And you can do it at $84 a month. It's not like you got to write a
There you go.
$1,000 check.
and that's the thing. If you do it in small bites, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Right.
So, but
thank you for having me, and
Sure.
good luck with your fundraiser on Thursday night.
yeah. So yeah, we very blessed to have a great board. We had a meeting today, and we have people. We don't have people on our board that just are there to put their name on a resume. We have people that are there to work, and I'm grateful every time I have a board meeting when I walk out of there that was a great group of people to be around. So,
Right.
And somehow I can't get someone else to be president. So,
They've been stuffing that ballot box on you for years.
yeah, I know. Well, they say take a step forward, and I stand still, and everyone backs up on me. So,
Right.
but thank you guys. This is where we wave and smile.
Bye, everyone.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow night.